This is TWiT.
Facebook is on a quest to dominate the world of online video, and it's partnering with Major League Baseball and the competitive video gaming league ESL in that quest. Sarah Needleman of the Wall Street Journal wrote a story about Facebook's video strategy shift today. Sarah, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
So walk us through these deals here. Basically, in the case of the ESL, we'll start there and then we'll go to Major League Baseball. But in the case of ESL, Facebook is basically paying professional video game players and teams and others to post videos exclusively to Facebook, right?
Exactly. Facebook has paid publishers before and celebrities, so this is not entirely new, but it is embracing esports. We know esports has a massive fan base online already, and so it's really looking to esports teams as a way to bolster interest in its own video product, and it's signing deals with teams and leagues to do that.
So you know, when it comes to signing deals, you're going to want to get eyeballs. They're going to want to get folks to watch more and more video on Facebook. With the esports deal, they're kind of riding the crest of a growing wave, right? I mean, let's talk about the growing business of esports. NBA teams have been getting into esports and forming their own teams.
Yeah, esports
it's kind of taking
is huge.
Off, right?
Yeah, it's blowing up right now, and you're right. The NBA signed a deal with Take-Two, and that's the company that makes Grand Theft Auto. But in this case, they're doing a basketball game, the NBA 2K, and they're creating an entire league around that. And we also know that Activision Blizzard is starting a league for its Overwatch game. So that will be another example of esports going big time. And now with Facebook, it's really looking to capitalize on that growing trend. We have something like, last year, people watched 9.6 billion hours of gaming video on YouTube and Twitch.
Wow.
Okay, and this year it's expected to go up to 11.4 billion hours. So that's a lot of time spent watching video game content, most of which is esports.
So what will Facebook do that Twitch doesn't already do? How will they be different? Do you know?
Well, actually, they're not all that different. In fact, you could argue that Twitch has additional features that Facebook doesn't currently have, such as this opportunity to send quote-unquote bits to your favorite streamers as a way to show your appreciation for them. They both have chat functionality, and they both have, the live streaming capabilities. So in that respect, they're very much the same. But of course, Twitch, we know, has a very huge built-in fan base already of very dedicated followers. And so Facebook has some catching up to do.
So with Major League Baseball, that's a traditional media sports property. They're going to be televising one game a week. Is this maybe like someday a threat to, say, like ESPN or, Fox, the different networks that televise baseball games now? Or are they trying to do like a different online specific take to it?
It's a little bit different online. The way it's shown is a little bit different. You've got a lot of opportunities to add things on the screen and interact with players. I mean, that's what makes the internet so different when it comes to live streaming. You can actually converse potentially with the streamer as they're streaming right in the real time. You can also chat with other people who are watching the same stream as you and interact and say, gee, did you notice that move that so-and-so made? It's so much more interactive than television, and that's something that the younger generations really gravitate toward and that we see them spending most of their time doing. And with major traditional sports, we've seen MLG partner, or at least MLG's advanced media partner already with Riot Games for a deal to have a specific app for League of Legends competitions. So more and more we're seeing a gravitation away from traditional network television toward live streaming in both traditional and esports, and the two are coming together in so many ways. And one of the teams that Facebook signed with, Team Dignitas, is owned by majority owned by the Philadelphia 76ers. And we also know that a lot of traditional athletes are investors in esports teams, so there's a lot of crossover between the two.
I know Facebook has been working on trying to roll in ads, mid-roll ads, and then share that with the creators. Will they be doing this, do you know, with streamers? Like, could anyone live stream their own gameplay and possibly become a creator on Facebook, or is it just these big esport companies?
No, individuals can start streaming on Facebook. I mean, certainly anybody can. We know there have been people who have done some things they shouldn't be doing with some very harmful content. But anyone could stream. But if you want to become a dedicated video game streamer and have a deal with Facebook, that is to another degree. And certainly you have to have a relationship with the company. But there are opportunities for anyone to generate ad revenue. And at some point, they may add features like a tipping tool, for example, that is similar to the bits you see on Twitch. They have said to me that they are experimenting. They're learning from their current batch of streamers and asking them, what kind of features do you want? What would you like to see? How can we make the experience better for you? How can we make it more lucrative for you? And so, this is the beginning stages for Facebook. I mean, they're taking baby steps at this point. They're not embedded in the space like we've seen with YouTube and Twitch. So give them a little time to catch up, and they may very well do that. But for now, they're planting the seeds and trying to build an ecosystem, and we're going to watch and see if that actually works.
So baseball games can be really, really long. Actually, Major League Baseball is working on ways to shorten the length of games right now. They can go as long as 3 or 4 hours. Of course, esports tournaments can take a long time too. Is Facebook thinking that people are really going to stare at their smartphone screen for 3 or 4 hours, or are they working on maybe apps for televisions, the big screen, or counting on people using AirPlay and Chromecast, or what? What's the kind of thought behind the way people actually consume this media?
Those are some interesting ideas, and I don't know exactly what Facebook is thinking outside of what we're talking about now. But as far as the live streaming goes, it's not just esports competitions. I mean, they're looking at having interviews with players behind the scenes as they're getting ready to go on stage and compete. They may follow a player for a day. They'll have esports news. So think of it more along the lines of traditional sports, where it's not just always competition. There's a lot of chatting, a lot of analysis, interviews. So there's so many opportunities. And they're looking at traditional, not traditional, but video game content that isn't necessarily competitive. We have people doing reviews of games, humor. And so just like you see on YouTube and Twitch, it's not always necessarily hardcore gaming competitions, but all sorts of content related to video games, which are just so hot as a medium, as a form of entertainment. And so Facebook is not limiting itself to any one kind. It's really broad. As far as, there are additional apps or separate content outside of the regular part of Facebook, that has not come up yet. That is not something I've heard them talk about. This is really what they're focusing on at the moment.
What could this mean for Twitter and other, online services that have been trying to get into this sort of thing? Twitter had deals with the NFL, and they've been trying to do more and more in streaming. So they're not the only social network that's trying this out, right?
That's true. You're right. Twitter has tried moving into the space. It's a different kind of social network than Facebook. And with the fast streams that go down of people's tweets, whereas Facebook is a little bit slower paced. It's hard to say. They're both stepping into this territory, and it's new for them. And we have yet to see. We've certainly known there's been problems along the way that Facebook has experienced with the original partners that it signed last year. They have not seen strong viewership, and they have not generated a large amount of ad revenue. And then we've also seen Facebook struggling or grappling with users who are posting violent content that is, certainly something they don't want to see on there. So it's a process, and we're just getting started from what I can tell. So the competition is stiff, and yes, other companies want to get into it besides Facebook, and we have seen that with Twitter, and we've seen Twitch and YouTube have a really strong several years head start. So there are other streaming outlets out there, and it remains to be seen who's going to be the dominant one, but this is where it's headed right now.